Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and so today we're going to go on with working on the cover. And it is a separate kit, but I'm going to pick up where I left off with the pieces from that separate video on how to put it together. We're going to get just a little bit further down the road getting this thing done. So here we go. Okay, so here we are. I've got the two side pieces cut. And here's the extra pattern paper that I printed out. So I'm just going to line this up and draw around it. I'm planning on using cloth tape for all my edges, so it will cover up whatever I have that's not quite beautiful. Does that make sense? Okay, so I've got those two, so let me cut these out real quick. Oh, I don't know what you all are doing during all these COVID days, but one of my good friends, Deb Bollinger, her husband had just retired and was looking forward to going fishing, and he likes to kayak. And so right when this COVID stuff happened, he got super sick and had some medical issues. And so they got taken care of. And so Deb and her husband decided to go out, and they were going kayaking. And she was putting it on Facebook. And they'd go out at dawn and watch the sunrise, and then they would go out at sunset and watch the sun go down. And it was so beautiful. She had all these beautiful pictures on Facebook. And so all of a sudden everybody wanted to do it too, including me. And of course I was afraid to. But she kept adding more people and adding more people that wanted to try it, wanted to do it. And she'd take them out with her extra kayak and let them try it. And so she's got quite a little kayak following. So I decided to try it. So I went with Deb, and I am not an outdoors person at all. We went out in the middle of the day, and it was kind of warm. It was sunny, and it was kind of hot. And we had a good time. She said, bring your lunch, and we'll go back in this little place, and we'll eat our lunch. And so we did. And I didn't take water because I'm stupid. I took a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and milk. And so we had our lunch, and we sat and paddled around, and then we sat and talked, and we kind of got out in the sun, and before long we realized it had been about 3 hours. So we decided to get out, and we got out. I helped her hoist those kayaks into her truck, and I almost passed out. I thought, I am going to pass out. So I put my head down really fast, and it helped, but I didn't pass out. But oh my gosh. So she got my car running, turned the air conditioner on. I went over and sat, lowered the seat down so I was flat, laying out in the car. And no water. I fortunately had a cold pack, like an ice pack, with my food that I just shoved in the sack. So I put that on the back of my neck, and that made a huge difference. But anyway, I'm not thinking I maybe am cut out for the kayak life. So anyway, what are you guys doing? Any kayakers out there? I need to just stay in my studio and do this, I think. It really was fun though, and I might try it again one of these days when it's cooler, and maybe go out either at, like she does, at dawn or at sunset. Okay, so now I'm going to glue these on. All right. So, as I was saying, if you get water on prints from my printer, I have one of those Eco Tank printers. It's water soluble, and so it ruined my print. So I used a spray sealant on these just to give it a little bit of protection. Here's the back. And so you will have the sides And unclip this cover. This will go over here. And then the other gate goes on this side. I don't know if this will all fit in my frame or not. It's not fitting on my board for sure, but I think you can see that. This is how it will lay out. And then I will take my signatures and stitch them into cardboard, which, what did I do with that? It's here somewhere. I will stitch it to, it's a 2-layer piece of chipboard, like cereal box chipboard. Stitch it to that, and I'll glue it to this piece right here, because this is actually your, sort of your traditional journal, those 3 pieces. And then I'm adding this wraparound piece, so it will wrap all the way around to the front. So I'm going to get my cloth tape. I've got like gaffer's tape. It's really strong cloth tape. And I'm going to cut pieces to glue this together on this side. And on the inside, I'm going to put some, okay, so get my Tyvek, and that makes it hold together really well. Probably use 2 pieces from here. This will fit like that. And, okay, change of plans. I'm going to use the E6000 just to be sure that it really does stick down well. And I'm allowing a bit of a gap. That's paper that you see in between there, and I'm going to leave a similar gap here. All right, I'm going to set this aside, and so it can dry. Okay, so I'm going to attach these signatures now to this piece of cardboard. This is the 2 layers of Life cereal box that I did, and okay. So here's the cardboard. It's 2 layers of a cereal box that I glued together. And I've got 3 signatures, and so of course the middle one will go in the middle. So I'm going to measure this as 2 1/4, what I ended up with. So half of that is 1 1/8. So that's right there. Half, 4/8. Getting a glare. Okay, so I'm going to draw the line for that one. And so the other signature, I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it just a little bit off center over to the sides, just to give it a little bit more room, because there'll be play over here with the tape and stuff, and so there'll be extra room on the sides. So I want to give a little bit of extra room to that middle part. And if you don't want to eyeball it, what you can do is you can mark where you've got your marks on one end. Just move it down here. Make sure you've got it where you want it. Make another line and another line. Okay. So you get your signatures, line them up how you want them. I have this one signature with a cloth page that sticks out above and below the other two. So, and then the one with the cloth page in the middle, and then this one last. So split the difference between that cloth page. And then I'm going to line this up with the backs of them. And I'm going to use a Sharpie so it shows up. And you don't have to be exactly in the middle. I kind of want it off from the other ones that I've already done. So I'm going to mark it here. And that would be here, like that. And then I move it. And your third one. So I'm marking them off. See, here's the one when I sewed the actual signature, but I'm putting these in a different spot. So they're stronger by being sewn in different places. Okay. And then you get your awl and your piece of styrofoam that you poke, or whatever you want it used to poke into. I'm going to go ahead and poke all the holes at once in this piece of cardboard. And I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle, get my thread out, my needle out. I always try to use the smallest needle just because it's easier to use, easier to poke through. If for some reason I didn't find the hole exactly where I want it, I can force it through with a smaller needle. Okay, and I do a little over 2 times the height of the page. Kind of pinch it with my thumbnail to make it flat because it's waxed, and that makes it easier to thread through the eye. Pull just a little bit of a tail. Oh, yes, and so now I'm going to poke my holes in my signatures. And so I've got these black marks where I want the holes. And this is the first signature. Make sure you've got your writing right side up. It will go along this first line. I'm going to hide the string, so that means that I'm going to come from the back of this piece of cardboard, so that's where it will end. And we're going to do our figure 8 again like we did before. So in here, back through this one. And this is a little trickier. Oh, what are the odds of that? Okay. Try not to stab the thread that's there because it will make your life miserable. Okay. And then it goes in this hole. Pull it so you have just this little bit of tail, and then you're going to go back through this hole and hold the string away so you don't stitch it. And then you're going to go back through that hole, and you want to try as best you can not to stab that. Pull it tight, hold onto this tail, pull that tight, and then poke it through this hole. And oh, it just, wow, just came right in that hole too. That was great. Okay, and then you tie that in a knot. And it's just the same as we did on the signatures, but you're sewing it with this piece of cardboard. It's a little trickier, but it's not too bad. Okay. And trim that off. Okay, so there's the first signature, and sure enough, it's the right side up, which is always a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and thread the needle again for my second one. Assuming I can find the end of it. 2 and a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to do the second one. So I'm going to come up through the middle hole. And thread this up through the middle hole on this one. As soon as I find the middle, here it is. Stabbing it, and stabbing it. Okay. All right, double checking. This is the way you want it to be, right side up. Okay, so here's your needle. I'm gonna poke it through that middle hole. Pull it up. Hold on to this. Hold on so you don't pull the tail out of your needle, and then look back here and pull it until you have that much of a tail. And then run it through here. There. Okay, so it's coming through here. Poking it through that hole on your middle line. I'm trying to get this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so hold on to this so it doesn't pull out, and then pull this tight till it starts to pull this tail out. And then you're going to come back through this hole again. Pull your tail down so you don't sew it. And then find that middle hole. Okay, I think I might have caught my thread. We'll find it. Yes, I did. Okay. Let's see if I can pull. Oh, good. It's going to let me pull it out. Okay. Okay. Did I pull my tail through. You know, I think I did. Okay. Okay, it pulled my tail through there. So, okay, so I think what I'm going to do, pulling it tight, I'm going to go on with it. I'm going to go through this hole here. And pull it through. And poke it through, and poke it through this hole. So now, normally, what you would have is you would tie your knot, but since I pulled it through, I wonder if I can poke that back through that hole. Yes, oh good, okay. Wow. Okay. If you do that, what it is the tail, sometimes if you pull it too hard, you'll pull your tail through. You can either just start all over again, which is no big deal, or you can do that, or what I was gonna do is tie it inside here. But either way, I've got it all lined up. So now I just wanna make sure that I pulled everything tight, pull everything, take your needle off, pull everything up really good and tight, and then tie it. I left some of these cards in there because they're hanging on buttons. It's kind of making it difficult. Okay, so there's 2 sewn in. Now the third one. So poke your holes. Thread your needle. 1, 2, and a little bit more. Start from the back, go in the first hole. And stick it into this middle hole. Through this top hole. Down through the top hole. And pull it so that you have a little bit of a tail. And then you're going to come back through here. And you're going to go back through the hole. Sorry if you guys can't see this. Let me separate it so you can. I'll pull it apart so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Pull it, poke it back through. It's coming back through that center hole. Making your figure 8. So you're going to poke it in this hole, the bottom hole. It's coming out there. I'll go ahead and pull it that way, and then you put it in the bottom hole of your cardboard right here. And that's your figure 8. So you can take your needle off, grab that tail, which was trying to get away. Pull all the slack out of it and tie your knot. And that's it. It's all over but the shouting. Okay, so we've got your signatures attached to the cardboard, and this will glue in. I'll use that E6000, put it on here and glue it to my cover piece of cardboard where it lines up. That's the next step, okay? So I'm gonna stop this video and we'll continue on in the next one. Thanks for watching.